In the small, seemingly idyllic town of Blackwood, located in the heart of the dense Appalachian forests of West Virginia, there is a terrifying legend known as the Whispering Woods. The story I'm about to tell you is not just a tale of horror, but a chilling account of how an old legend turned into a nightmarish reality. It all began in the early 1900s, when the town of Blackwood was thriving due to its prosperous timber industry. The townspeople thrived on the bounty of the ancient woods that surrounded them, but the forest, as old as time itself, held its secrets and its curses. One fateful winter, a group of loggers ventured deeper into the uncharted regions of the forest in search of the most valuable timber they'd ever seen. They ignored the warnings of the elders, who spoke of the Whispering Woods, a place where the trees were said to possess malevolent spirits. As the loggers felled the first ancient tree, a chill swept through the forest and an eerie whisper echoed through the trees. Ignoring it as mere superstition, they continued their work, but each tree they felled seemed to carry a sinister message, as if the very forest was begging them to stop. Days turned into weeks, and as they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a grove of trees that seemed otherworldly. The bark of these trees was unusually dark, and their leaves a ghostly shade of silver. The loggers believed they had hit the jackpot and began cutting them down with gusto. It was on the night of the full moon when the Whispering Woods lived up to its name. The townspeople awoke to a horrifying sight. The trees that had been felled had not fallen. Instead, they had risen, their twisted branches forming grotesque shapes. They had become the Whispering Ones, ancient spirits awakened by the loggers' greed. The Whispering Ones began their revenge, their haunting whispers now audible to all. They whispered of doom, of the end of Blackwood. Panic spread like wildfire as the townsfolk tried to flee, but the forest itself had become a labyrinth, trapping them within its cursed confines. The legend of the Whispering Woods had come to life. The Whispering Ones, with their gnarled limbs and ghostly presence, hunted down the loggers one by one. Those who escaped the forest did not escape the curse, for they brought it with them. The town of Blackwood, withered, its people plagued by perpetual fear and a relentless whispering that never ceased. Today, Blackwood is a ghost town, abandoned and shrouded in an eternal darkness. Those who dare enter the Whispering Woods are said to vanish, becoming one with the vengeful spirits that haunt this accursed place. The legend of the Whispering Woods serves as a chilling reminder that some tales are not mere stories, but warnings, and that the past has a way of coming back to haunt those who dare to ignore it.
In the remote and desolate town of Ravenswood, West Virginia, nestled along the ominous Ohio River, there exists a chilling legend known as the Phantom Ferryman. This is the terrifying story of an incident that unfolded in the 19th century, and how the town's darkest legend turned into a horrifying reality. Ravenswood, once a thriving river town, had always been shrouded in mystery due to its strange and sudden bouts of thick, unending fog that would engulf the town and riverbanks. Local folklore claimed that these mists were the work of a malevolent spirit, a vengeful ferryman who had met a gruesome end in the river's treacherous currents. The tale goes back to a fateful night in 1837, when a riverboat, the Ravenswood Belle, was making its usual journey along the Ohio River. The passengers aboard the boat were a mix of townsfolk, traders, and travelers, all unaware of the doom that awaited them. As the boat chugged along, an eerie fog rolled in, obscuring all vision. As the fog thickened, the riverboat captain struggled to navigate through the treacherous waters. Passengers whispered about the legend of the Phantom Ferryman, believing the spectral figure was responsible for the fog. In the midst of their superstitious murmurs, disaster struck. the boat hit a submerged tree trunk, tearing a gaping hole in its side. Panic ensued as passengers scrambled for life jackets and lifeboats. But the icy waters of the Ohio River claimed many souls that night. In the chaos, a man dressed in tattered ferryman's attire emerged from the fog, guiding a phantom-like boat to the beleaguered riverboat. This eerie figure, known as the Phantom Ferryman, offered his skeletal hand to the drowning passengers. Those who took it were never seen again. Some claimed they could hear their loved ones calling out from the depths of the ferryman's vessel, but they were powerless to help. The next morning, the wreckage of the Ravenswood Belle was discovered, along with the lifeless bodies of those who had perished. However, no trace of the Phantom Ferryman or the passengers who had taken his hand could be found. The legend of the Phantom Ferryman grew in the town, and the foggy nights along the Ohio River became synonymous with dread. Locals avoided the riverbanks after dark, fearful of encountering the vengeful spirit. But then, in 1942, on a night when the fog was so thick it seemed solid, a fisherman ventured too close to the river's edge. The townspeople, awakening to the familiar fog, heard anguished cries echoing through the streets. Rushing to the river, they saw the outline of a ghostly ferryman guiding a spectral boat. He beckoned to the fisherman, who, in a moment of desperation, reached out and took his skeletal hand. The legend of the Phantom Ferryman had come to life once more. The fisherman, lost to the mists, joined the cursed spirit on his eternal voyage. To this day, the townsfolk of Ravenswood dare not approach the fog, shrouded river at night, for they know that the legend of the Phantom Ferryman is not just a tale of superstition, but a horrifying truth that can claim the living as well as the dead. In the remote town of Clifton, Arizona, nestled deep within the craggy canyons of the Apache, Sitgreaves National Forest, there exists a chilling legend known as the Curse of the Crimson Moon. The tale begins with a gruesome incident that transpired decades ago, an incident that sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. It was the early 1900s when a group of silver miners ventured deep into the heart of the Clifton mine, a labyrinthine network of tunnels that seemed to descend endlessly into the earth. The miners were a superstitious bunch, always whispering about the mysterious disappearances of their fellow workers and the eerie occurrences in the dark, uncharted depths of the mine. One fateful night, as the moon hung low in the sky like a blood-red eye, a deafening rumble echoed through the tunnels. Panic ensued as the miners scrambled for safety. But it was too late for many. A massive cave sealed off the main entrance, trapping a dozen miners deep within the bowels of the earth. For weeks, the townsfolk rallied, desperate to rescue the trapped miners. Day and night, they worked tirelessly. But as the days turned into months, hope waned. The crimson moon, an omen of doom, seemed to linger over Clifton, casting an eerie glow that sent chills through the hearts of the townspeople. Then, a strange occurrence began to unfold. Miners who had managed to escape the cave reported hearing ghostly whispers in the darkest corners of the mine. Shadows danced on the tunnel walls, and strange symbols, resembling arcane runes, appeared mysteriously etched into the rock. It was as if the mine itself had become sentient, exacting its revenge for the lives it had claimed. As the rescue efforts grew increasingly futile, the legend of the Crimson Moon Curse spread like wildfire. Locals spoke of a vengeful spirit, a guardian of the mine who demanded retribution for the miners' intrusion. Some claimed to have glimpsed a spectral figure dressed in tattered mining gear, haunting the tunnels with glowing crimson eyes. Years passed, and the trapped miners were never recovered. The entrance to the Clifton mine remained sealed, and the legend of the Crimson Moon faded into folklore. But the curse endured, casting a perpetual shadow over the town. Then, in 1978, an ambitious mining company decided to reopen the Clifton mine, believing that modern technology and equipment could overcome the curse. As they dug deeper into the earth, they unearthed the sealed tunnel, releasing a malevolent force that had been trapped for decades. Reports of strange accidents and unexplained disappearances plagued the new mining operation. Miners who ventured too deep into the old tunnels were said to vanish without a trace. Terrified workers whispered of hearing the same ghostly whispers and seeing the same crimson-eyed specter that had haunted their predecessors. The legend of the Crimson Moon Curse had come full circle, and the town of Clifton found itself ensnared once more in the chilling tale. Locals now live in fear, avoiding the cursed mine at all costs, for they know that the vengeful spirit of the Crimson Moon still lurks in the depths, waiting to claim those who dare to defy its dark power. And so, the legend endures, a chilling reminder that some curses are not meant to be broken, and that the past can return to haunt the living in the most terrifying of ways.